St. Paul is quoting a fixed Jewish liturgical formula, and very, very clearly right here, he tells you the Sabbath is a shadow. Well, a shadow very clearly means a temporal, typological reality. That's what shadow is. And that causes the SDA religion to collapse. Because if Paul is saying Sabbath belongs to the shadow and Christ is the reality, the substance, well, that shadow passes once the substance arrives. And Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1 tells us that. That is a devastating passage for SDAs.
Yeah, but that's not the complete passage, though, is it?
Very clearly, I'm reading 5 verses. We can read the whole thing. You won't do any better with the others.
All right.
So give me your best. James Bowen couldn't do that. James Bowen is considered your top guy. He's your top dog. I was told that guy floats in water. I'm not lying to you, Carlos. I was told the night before, I was told James Bowen is this. He's like a semi-deity. And I mean, I'm still licking my.
I don't know. I don't follow too much what's going on. I don't follow what's going on too much in the corporate church. I believe you.
Corporate church or church in the ground.
The reason why I tuned out of there.
Let me ask you something.
I couldn't take more than 15 minutes.
Let me ask you something. I want to ask you something with all sincerity. As a brother, do you think, and I'm asking you respectfully, do you think any of your other apologists from the SDA movement could do any better than James Bowen did?
From the SDA corporate church? No.
Any of them, any of your movement. Bring me the guys that you think that you think they ski in water. Bring me those guys.
I mean,
bring me any of them, Carlos.
In getting into I don't know how honest. I don't know how interested they.
We'll ask.
They're into. You know, they're into.
You got to wear the pants, Carlos.
I'll tell you what. I'll talk to a couple. That
Carlos, I don't think your wife has seen me debate. Tell your wife not to watch. Tell her not to. She's going to call them.
I love to see a debate, William. Honestly,
I don't think she's seen me, though. I don't want her heart to get broken. I don't want her heart to get broken, Carlos.
Look, first of all, you need to understand something, William. We are not with the SDA organization. We reject the conference.
Whatever you're with. You hold to the blasphemous belief.
I have no heroes but Jesus. Right?
Well, Jesus
I like to watch debate. And I don't care what side. I like a good debater's a good debater, whether he's Catholic, whether he's Mormon. I'm into that, you know.
Okay.
I don't really merge it too much with my theology. You know what I mean? Like what I think is true.
Okay.
Is different from. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll talk to a couple of guys and see if they'd be interested. I think it's really good either way, William. Right? People to come together. Something I really admire about the Seventh-day Adventist Church was the way it started. Was they were all people from different denominations, and they all came together, and they were all willing to put their differences to the side, and they sat down and they divided the word honestly.
They sure did divide the word. I tell you that. They did a good job of dividing the word in a pretty blasphemous manner. I'll tell you that.
But
they did a good job of that.
I appreciate the willingness to sit with other denominations, other belief systems, and make a sincere attempt in doing that.
It doesn't change that what is held to by the SDA movement, whether you hold to the corporate church or whatever fancy terms you want to use. I don't care. You hold to the theology. Let's eliminate let's get into those fancy terms. The theology that you hold to is damnable heresy. Even if you reject the corporate group, it's damnable heresy. The Sabbath day holding is damnable heresy. The idea, I don't know if you hold soul sleep. Not only is soul sleep heresy, not only is it heresy, it's funnier than an Adam Sandler movie in its prime. It's funnier.
It's funnier that death is actually death and not some other abstract idea.
Soul sleep is not talking the Bible. It's funnier than Adam Sandler in his prime.
Well, why don't we call it?
Hold on.
You should call it the sleep of death. That's what David calls it.
Then, but he's not talking about what you're talking about. Do you hold to annihilationism? Do you hold to annihilationism?
We can go into that. I mean, if you want to go over, you can show me that he's not.
Carlos, it won't. We'll go into that right now.
I think.
Hold on, but I'm going down the line of the heresies. Right now, I will obliterate your theology. Let me tell you what I think is wrong. Don't worry, brother. We're going to go to soul sleep. We'll obliterate that. And I don't want people to think, well, Carlos isn't a debater. I'd obliterate your best too, just so you can know that. Annihilationism. Do you hold to annihilationism?
Yes, 100%.
There you go. Another heresy. Another heresy.
Another heresy.
So I mean, we
Of
can
course.
go down the line. These are
Look,
damnable
I can
heresies, man.
get them all out
Damnable.
the way for you if you like. You want me to just go
Yeah,
ahead and...
I know what they are, man. They're damnable
All right.
heresies.
Well,
Give me your best verse in Soul Sleep, and let's deal with
well,
it. Give me your best verse.
let's pick up. Let's not get too sidetracked, and let's stay here in Colossians where we started. How's
Okay.
that? Let's do one at a
That's
time.
good. Let's go to Colossians.
All right.
I am game for whatever,
I
man.
noticed that you started here on 16, but I think
Brother,
we both know.
read whatever you want.
I think we both know that this begins probably at 14, right?
Well,
Probably,
something tells me it begins in verse 1.
I mean, if you really
if you want to go to where this begins, if you want to be a smart aleck and a brainiac, it begins in verse 1. If you want to play those games, but tell me your argument. Tell me the text and tell me your argument.
All right, for the sake of argument, we'll start at 14.
How about that?
Right.
How about, well, let's be fair. I'm going to give you a minute to read it, whatever you want to read, and formulate your argument, because I get accused of not letting people talk.
Look.
Give you a minute.
I might not even need a whole minute. I might not even need the whole minute.
I'm going to give you a minute anyway, man. You know why? I don't want people saying I'm a bully. Go.
Okay, you went straight to 17 and said, the things that are nailed to the cross are a shadow of things to come, but the body is Christ. But we left out 14, which says that these things are handwritten ordinances, right? So here are the descriptions, right? We know that the things being nailed to the cross, number one, are handwritten ordinances, right? That's the book of the law that were contrary to us, a witness against us, right? More description of the book of the law, right? So now we know that these things are also regarding, in verse 16, are regarding meat and drink. Let no man judge you, therefore, in meat or drink or respect to any holy day, a new moon or Sabbaths, right? What do we have here? We have more things that are listed in the book of the law. We have Sabbath fest, new moon feast, right? So clearly it's just narrowing down what it is exactly that's being nailed to the cross. So far we have these things that are being nailed to the cross are in the book of the law. Second, they regard meat or drink, new moon, Sabbath is feast and whatnot, right? The third thing is that they are a shadow of things to come, but the body is Christ. Now, what fits that description? Clearly, the feasts that are given in the book of Leviticus 23, which are Sabbath feasts, new moon feasts. So it's talking about ceremonial feasts, which are a shadow of things to come. So
a whole minute and a half just for you to show people that I'm fair. No. I want to show people that I'm fair.
I don't do this every day.
No, I know that, but I want to show people that I'm fair, that I allow my prey to hang around for a little bit before devouring them. I am very, very fair as a predator. I'm a very fair predator. Now I come in. Now I come in and I devour my prey. I've allowed my prey to play around a little bit. Now I come in. Colossians 2:14 actually annihilates you. It is a nightmare for you. So let's go to the full context. When you read Colossians 2:14, let's read it all. Having canceled the handwritten record, by the way, that Greek Cheirographon of ordinances that stood against us, he nailed it to the cross. Therefore, let no one judge you in food or drink or regard to a festival, a new moon, or he left, or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come. The substance is Christ. Even if he doesn't come back, I'm going to refute him. Even if he doesn't come back, but he's back.
Sorry about that.
Back. No worries. Don't worry.
My thing's a little...
The word therefore, for people that are wondering, the word therefore is very important because the word therefore is the word un. It means then accordingly. It's a conjunction. For people that don't know Greek, you don't need to know a lick of Greek. The word therefore is a conjunction. It is directly grounding the Sabbath statement in verse 14, directly refuting what Carlos said. You cannot separate verse 14 from verse 16 without violating the grammar. He says, handwritten ordinances. Handwritten ordinances. He doesn't mean only ceremonial law. He says the Greek word, by the way, that Greek word, Cheirographon, means a certificate of debt, a legal IOU. It doesn't mean only ceremonial law. Paul's point is not only feast laws were nailed. I'm not saying you said that. The entire legal record, the entire one is canceled. That is circumcision, the old sacrificial system, the old food laws, the Sabbath observance. That's why it's there in the very verse. You cannot arbitrarily carve out the word Sabbath from there when Paul has it in verse 16. He tells you in verse 14, he applies verse 14 to the Sabbath in verse 16. He doesn't leave the interpretation to chance. He immediately applies verse 14 to food and drink, festival, new moon, and Sabbath. If the Sabbath was not included in what was nailed to the cross, his argument would make no sense at all. It is included there. And to add to the point, let me just add this point. Here is where the Adventist movement collapses. Everyone that was part of the Church of Christ, one church, all of them interpreted this the way that I am. If you go back and watch my debate with Bowen, Bowen didn't want to hear any early fathers, any of them.